photographer, how do you do it? What are your markup percentages? How do you account for charging actually what you're worth? All of the business side of the equation, okay? And then there's the psychological side of the equation too. And there's like nothing more paralyzing in this entire industry. The how do I charge what I'm worth? How do I deal when somebody lowballs me? What about negotiation? What about running sales? What should my markup percentages be? There's both a business side and a psychological side, and people flip out about this all the time, right? Like I read a rant in one of these little forums I'm in today from somebody that like they were so depressed because they had something they were trying to sell for like $1,800 and somebody lowballed them for $200 and they're like, I just want to quit. I'm so depressed. So there's just so much baggage that comes with pricing, and there's a ton of information that you'll see online and like conventional wisdom out there that tries to give you all these formulas about how to do it and how to break it down and use this formula, dollar per square footage slash your media cost slash your time, da 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 da. All of that for the most part is bullshit. Okay, you don't need to worry about any of those stupid nonsense formulas. All nonsense. There's only one thing that matters up top. Okay, and the one thing that matters up top is that the work has to sell. Okay, if the work is not selling, you have another problem. The work must go out into the world and it must sell. And if it's not selling, there's no special formula, dollar per square footage. This is what I'm worth. Da, 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 da. None of that matters. Okay. You have to be brutally honest with yourself. Am I getting the work in front of strangers? And if so, are they buying it or are they not buying it? If they're not buying it, drop the price until you can see if they will. Okay. This is not a session today about whether or not the work is selling and how to go about those conversations. But understand that the work has to sell. Okay. There's no magical formula that is going to help you if the work is not selling. And everyone has to be honest with themselves by that. And oh, by the way, the things that they never teach you in art school, I say this on these things all the time, but it's important. Just because the work's not selling does not mean you are a crappy artist or a photographer. It just means whatever you created, the market does not want. Okay. Pablo Picasso, when he died, had 45,000 unsold works in his inventory. Okay. Do you know what Pablo Picasso knew that no one else seems to know? Being a successful artist is a game of archery. You're not going to hit a bullseye with every single solitary arrow you fire. Some are going to miss. Some are going to go down into the grass. Some are going to fly into the neighbor's yard. You don't let that ruin you. You don't let that deflate you. You don't let that, stop everything you're doing. Just fire more arrows. Okay? Don't take it personally. Anyway, digress on that. As an artist, you need to have prices from $0 to $100, $100 to $1,000, and well over $1,000. Okay? 0 to 100, 100 to 1,000, well over $1,000. There are a number of different reasons for this, which I'm going to delve into. In addition to that, you need to have non-wall art as a part of your lineup. Okay, by non-wall art, I quite frankly don't care what it is. The easiest way to normally achieve this is through merchandise. I don't care if it's cell phones, cases, or coffee mugs, or calendars, or coasters, or stickers, or whatever it is. Not everybody is ready to buy wall art all the time. Okay. And if you don't have something that is non-wall art related as a part of your lineup to sell, then you are not going to acquire a customer. When you don't acquire a customer, you don't stand the chance of building a collector. Okay. So it's very, very important to have non-wall art as a part of your lineup. Then once you start working on the other ranges, okay, so 0 to 100, 100 to 1,000, over 1,000. How do I get there? You get there through a combination of the non-wall art merch, through offering prints, for most people doing limited editions, and then you have your originals, okay? Everyone's followers, everyone, by which I mean everyone, once you start marketing, fall into what I call a socioeconomic bell curve, okay? The socioeconomic bell curve is exactly what you would think. You have the low-income folks on the very end of the bell. Then you have lower middle class, upper middle class, high net worth individuals. It is a bell curve, okay? No matter who is on this session, Art Storefronts is a business. Everyone that does any sort of marketing whatsoever is going to run into this particular phenomenon. And when you understand it, you realize that you need to have price points for each of the people on that bell curve. The bell curve is not a fixed entity. There are people that are moving up and down the various different things their entire lives. Your job is to have price points that cater to each one of those people, okay? The reason for this, it's very, very important. Once you become an intelligent artist or photographer and you realize that you need to be selling direct, you realize that you're going to be doing this business for the rest of your life. The way God made you, you don't turn off creativity. It never stops, okay? You're going to be creating art. You're going to be photographing for the rest of your life. You would appreciate selling those things. Okay, great. You're selling direct, so you know who purchases your work. When you know who purchases your work, in sharp contrast to selling through a marketplace, in sharp contrast to selling through a gallery where you don't have any damn idea who's buying your work, you have the ability to market to that person for the rest of your art selling life. This is very important, okay? This is how an art business is built. You are meant to acquire customers, which will eventually, the good ones, turn into collectors, which will buy several pieces from you for the rest of your life. That's how it works in this business. What everyone talks about when they talk about marketing, and this is also important why the 0 to 100 price point, this is also important why the non-wall art. There's only 3 ways to grow a business, okay? There's only 3 ways to grow an art photography business. You can acquire new customers, all right, which is what everyone focuses on. They spend all their time attempting to acquire new customers. Wonderful. You can acquire new customers. You can increase the AOV of when you do get orders. AOV stands for average order value. So that means when someone comes in to buy something for $500, you sell them something else and you get $750. That is a way to grow your art business. The third way to grow your art business, okay, is to reacquire the customers you already have. Repeat business, okay? And that's where a collector list comes in. And the repeat business is the bread and butter of any art or photography business. No one has ever taught this, and it's rather infuriating. The easiest customer to get is the one that you already have. When you have prices $100 and less, when you have prices that are non-wall art, you could have someone that likes you, likes what you do creatively, has been following you, but is currently living in their mother's basement. They don't have any wall space, okay? But when you have things priced under $100 that are non-wall art related, you have the ability to acquire a customer, okay? And let me tell you, it is very good business to acquire customers because the easiest customer to get is the one you already have. No one ever talks about that, but that is a basic fundamental tenet of business, and especially this business. So it is very important that you have the prices underneath that. Let's go up the range. The 100 to 1,000 is very easy to achieve. And I'm just going to give you some samples, right? You could have 100 and under, your merchandise, your non-wall art stuff, and I don't care what it is. I have some customers that hand paint wooden spoons. Fantastic. They hand paint kitchen spoons. Do you, whatever it is, as long as it's non-wall art. You have your small paper prints. Then up to over 100, you can start getting into your various different media types. Your canvas, your metal, your acrylic. As the sizes go up, the price points go up. Somewhere under $1,000, maybe you have some originals in there, maybe you have some limited editions in there. At the very top end of it, okay, you start getting into the originals up and over the $1,000 range. In addition to that, just like we need to have those low price points at the very low end of the scale, we also need to have some high price points. Now, there are a number of different reasons for this, a number of different reasons that no one ever explains that are basic fundamental tenets in business and always have been. I'm going to give you examples. No different than the socioeconomic bell curve being a thing at the low end of the scale. It's also a thing at the high end of the scale. Every once in a while, you will come into contact with a high net worth individual. They will look at those cheap prices and they will not be getting the dopamine hit that they're looking for. They're looking for that really, really expensive thing. So it's rather nice to have it in your store, and every once in a while, you'll sell it. That is not the only reason, okay? If you're someone that's on this call right now and your originals go from like $1,200 to $2,000, I want something in your store for $10,000, $15,000, or maybe even $20,000, okay? Now, there is a phenomenon called price anchoring. It turns out we human beings are wired to purchase things through a basis of comparison, okay? We go and we anchor onto something, and that gives us a basis for comparison, which makes it a little bit easier for us to buy something in the middle range. This is the real reason that you need to have it. You ever go to a car dealership? And you notice at the car dealership, there's some sort of glass box in the middle of the dealership, and then the big lot goes throughout the outside, and then all the rest of the cars are on the outside. What do they have inside the glass box? Let's just say it's a Toyota dealership. They got the Toyota Supra turbocharged double 9RP leather whatever, right? And it's like some $175,000 supercar. No one's buying that damn car. Okay? You see that car, you see the price of that car, you anchor on that car, and what it does psychologically is it gives you a basis of comparison and it makes you feel better about the Toyota Highlander for $40,000 you're buying outside. Okay? It's called price anchoring. So when you have something very expensive in the store, it automatically makes your potential customers feel better about the things in the middle of the range. So when you set one of these high-priced items, it doesn't even matter if you ever sell it, okay? It makes your entire range of pricing significantly better. Once you have this range of pricing, okay, once you have it, what you will find is you are significantly more prepared to deal with the scenarios in which people come in and lowball you and try and knock you down and try and offer you $250 for something that costs $3,000 that you should be selling for $3,000. And the beautiful thing about it is that number one, when you have the range of pricing, oftentimes people will not lowball you because they have the basis for comparison. They understand where they land. Moreover, when you're selling something for $2,000 and somebody says, I'll give you $150, instead of getting angry, okay, and instead of having a meltdown about that, you can go, yeah, no, I'm not going to sell that to you for $150. But what I will do is show you what's in your price range. And you steer them right to your price range where their budget is. And it's such an easy way to route those people. And you find that it totally gets rid of the low ballers. Okay. Next, we need to talk about markup percentages, okay? This is the percentage in which you mark up the wholesale cost of whatever it is that you're selling. I'm going to start not with the merch. The merch is low margin stuff. You don't make a ton of money on merch. It doesn't apply to merch, but it applies to all your prints. Your prints should at a minimum have a 250% markup percentage, okay? So you take your wholesale cost, you mark it up 250%. On your originals, it's a little bit harder to price these, but once everything is in your range and you work on your range, you kind of know where your originals land. And let's say you're going to charge $1,000 for an original, mark it up $300, okay? You do this for two reasons. One, so you can negotiate, and two, so you can run sales. Both are critically important parts of an art business. Now, there are a number of people out there running around that have no idea what they're talking about and never sell any damn art that will, one, tell you not to negotiate, and two, tell you not to run sales. Let's start with the sales. The only two brands that I'm aware of that don't run sales, by which I mean discounts, are Louis Vuitton and Tiffany's. If any of you on this call have an art brand or a photography brand that is as strong as Louis Vuitton or Tiffany's, what the hell are you doing on this Zoom call on a Friday? You don't have a brand that strong. It's very, very difficult to have a brand that strong, so you discount, okay? We discount because there is a psychological equation that says discount plus scarcity equals human beings more likely to take action, more likely to purchase things. When you understand this, you realize it's just maths. The discount is whatever the discount is. It's irrelevant. 5% off, 10% off, buy one, get one free, free shipping. I don't care. Whatever you decide. The scarcity is it ends today. It ends tomorrow. It ends next week. It ends in 2 weeks. Discount plus scarcity. More likely for human beings to take action, okay? Very, very important. Negotiation. People say, oh, you never negotiate. It cheapens the work. It cheapens you as an artist. What a load of bullshit. This one infuriates me, okay? Everyone is artists and photographers. What do we always hear about? We always hear about the things that sell at Sotheby's or Christie's for 10% over asking or full price or double asking or whatever it is. Do you know what we never hear about? We never hear about all the art and the photography that sells in art galleries. Do you want to know why? Because art galleries are some of the most opaque institutions on the face of planet Earth. And the reason that they are opaque is because they don't want any of the artists and photographers knowing how hard they negotiate on everything, okay? On everything. Everything is negotiable in the art world. Everything all the time. Once you know this, okay, once you come to terms with this, and because you understand that you are marking your stuff up 250%, you are prepared to come 5% off, 10% off, 15% off, 20% off if needs be to make a sale because you have appropriately set your markup percentages, okay? It's all one giant game. And negotiation is an art. There are certain people that are better at it than others. I can give you one simple trick that is the 80-20 solve on all of it. When somebody comes in, hey, Patrick, and let's say I have a canvas print that cost me $100. I'm going to mark it up 250%. So I'm selling it for $350. Is that right? What did I say? $1,000? Let's just say $100. So I'm selling it for $350. Okay. Ronnie comes in. Ronnie goes, Patrick, I like this canvas print, but I don't have the $350. Would you take $275 for it? Okay. So he's come in and he's trying to whack me down. What do most artists and photographers do? They immediately go, fine, done. I'll take it. I'll take it, right? You fold instantaneously. Never, ever negotiate without getting something in return. Now, when you understand that simple truth, and I don't know why that's true. It's like goes back to our hunter-gatherer days, like where we need like the thrill of a hunt. Otherwise, the transaction never goes through. I don't know. When somebody comes in and negotiate, and you're prepared, you're like, I'm ready for you to negotiate. If they offer you full price, if Ronnie says, I'll take it, great. I'm going to sell it to him. Fantastic. If Ronnie comes in and says, I got to negotiate, I'll take $275. Do you know what I say? I go, okay, Ronnie. I don't normally negotiate, but how are you going to pay? Ronnie goes, I'm paying cash. And I go, okay, Ronnie, if you pay cash, I'll go down to $275. You see what I did there? I asked Ronnie how he was going to pay. I don't care how he pays. He can pay cash. He can pay check, PayPal, Venmo, credit card. I'm ready to take all of it. But what I did is I got something from him in return, whether or not he knew it or not. So Ronnie, how do you want to pay? Ronnie goes, I'm going to pay by credit card. Okay, I'll tell you what, Ronnie. That's better for me. Helps me track things. So if you pay by credit card, I'll come down on it. And then boom, I got something in return, even if it's something I didn't even need. You can make it about, I'll tell you what, if you take it today, are you going to take it today, Ronnie? Yeah, I want it today. Okay. All right, Ronnie. Then if you take it today, I'll give it to you for $275. Just be creative, but don't ever give them something for free in return. If they offer you something crazy, the payment one is the easiest. Just say, how are you going to pay? And then whatever they're going to say, go, okay, great. I prefer that. Or if you want to get tested, be like, well, I'll tell you what. I don't like taking credit cards, but if you pay with the check, I'll do the deal. I'll come down on the price. You would be surprised at how much that helps with negotiation. So you now have a range of pricing. You now realize, okay, that your markup percentages are critical. You realize that you should be prepared to negotiate at all times. You realize that because your markup percentages are correct, you are capable of running sales. You realize that when running sales, a discount plus scarcity equals human beings more likely to take action. As a final, you realize that when heading into times of what we like to call economic uncertainty, for the pessimist amongst us, recession, what art or photography do you think gets sold in tough economic times? Do you think the art of photography that offers a sale as a part of it gets sold? Or do you think the stuff at full price goes? Do you think people heading into tough economic times are just going out willy-nilly paying full price for anything? No, they're not, okay? No, they're not. They are going to feel good and feel better if they purchase something not at full price. Honey, we really needed that piece in the bathroom, so I want to let you know I bought a photograph for the wall today. You did what? You don't worry, I got 30% off and free shipping. Okay, good. You got a great deal. That's how it happens in the real world, okay? In uncertain economic times, the art or the photography that is on sale gets the sale. The stuff that's full price does not. And that is just truth. That is just fact. And that is why range of pricing, markups appropriately set, you are prepared to run sales and get sales, okay, to the detriment of your competitors because you understand the way the world works and the way business works. These are just simple fundamental rules and truths. You play by these rules and it turns out your business starts growing. Let's shift gears off the pricing and let's move on. Gwen is asking, the markup percentage is very easy to do, by the way. And I should say one thing before I answer your question, Gwen. Nobody's really negotiating on the merch or the $0 to $100 stuff. So don't worry about that. Okay. Don't negotiate on that. That stuff's full price. But the 100 and up is all negotiable. Okay. The 100 and up is where you run your sales. The 100 and below, the paper prints here, they're fine, but otherwise, no. Okay. Markup percentage is very, very easy to set on the prints, 250%. On limited editions, also very easy. You go higher, right? Like once you realize you have to design the range, it's almost like get a bunch of note cards and start writing a bunch of prices on them and then arranging them all and go, okay, my situation is such that here's normally what my originals cost. I'm going to bump the price on those up because now I'm actually doing limited editions too. And you take the note card and you put it in there and you put the other one in there. Like you just arrange it. It's like literally a game. But once you do it, all of this stuff starts becoming clear. And then the markup percentages on your original art, you know, it because it fits in the lineup, that they'll naturally be places where it feels okay. Just make sure that you whatever you thought you were going to ask, bump the percentage up so you can negotiate a little bit in sale and come down. Okay, it takes some practice, admittedly, and it's harder to do, Gwenna, than on the originals, right? But for all the rest of them, pretty easy. And on the merch, on the low end of the merch, there's not like people. What people don't understand about the merch, and I'll finish on this, and I really want to move to the website. Is I've been digital marketing my whole life. Okay, how did I get most of your guys' attention to this session? How did we find you? How did you find out about Art Storefronts? I'll tell you how you found out. Likely a Facebook or an Instagram ad, right? I had to pay a lot of money for that Facebook or Instagram ad to get your attention, to get you to come to the website, to hopefully get you to give me my email address and then email you to death. And yes, I'm aware I email too much. The merch is basically a Facebook ad or an Instagram ad that you can place in somebody's house 24 hours a day. I can't do that with a Facebook and Instagram ad. No one can. If I get a calendar on your wall, that's like me stapling a Facebook or Instagram ad to your wall 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. The goal of the merch is to acquire a customer that you can market to in perpetuity. And then in addition to that, to have your art front and center in front of that person's eyeballs, such that when they're ready to buy the expensive piece, you are the first person that comes to mind. What's not a part of merch, okay, is getting rich. Unless you're selling 100,000, whatever they are, you are not going to make a tremendous amount of money on merch. It is not going to be a massive profit center for your business. And guess what? That's okay. As a final on the merch, Patrick, are you kidding me? You know, this merch, this stuff is so schlocky. Why? You think I would sell merch? I'm a fine artist. This is going to lower people's opinion of me. Go ahead, any of you, and let me know the last time you went into a museum that didn't have a gift shop. Don't worry, I'll wait. Let me know where that museum is, okay? The reason they all have gift shops is because it turns out they're all actually businesses, okay? If Van Gogh's work can be hanging on the wall and they can have a gift shop selling stuffed animals and calendars and coasters and koozies and Lord knows what else, it's not hurting Van Gogh any. It ain't going to hurt you, okay? Name me a famous musician you've been to see recently that did not have a damn merch booth at their concert. Okay, what do these people know that artists don't? This is the stuff that infuriates me, the type of bullshit that artists and photographers hear from people that are not making any money or growing a business that keeps them down. I get tired of about that. I'm gonna table all that for the time being. I want to move to the website. Yes, you have to have your art up on a website. Yes, the website needs to take credit card. Yes, the website needs to list prices. Okay, and yes, you need that. You all know you need that. We are not the only outfit in town that offers that, okay? So don't take it cynically. I don't care if you sign up for Art Storefronts, but all of that needs to take place, okay? Your website needs to make it easy for you to market your art. It needs to make it easy for you to run sales, to capture emails, okay? To set discount codes. If it's difficult for you guys to run a sale, knowing how much you enjoy marketing, by which I mean you hate it, you're not gonna run them. Right? You're not going to run the sales. So you have to have a website that is capable of doing all of those various different things. Okay? It is critically important. What most artists and photographers do, left to their own devices, and God bless you, okay? You guys are artists and photographers. You have the eye. You understand framing. You understand composition. You go about to build your own website and set up your own website. And what does it end up looking like? It ends up looking beautiful. The problem is, you're artists and photographers. You're not gallerists. You don't own art galleries. Because if you did, you would understand the best way to sell art or photography is in a retail art gallery. That is the paradigm. That is what everyone knows. What does every single solitary art gallery and by extension museum you ever walk into look like? They all look the same, don't they? Blank white walls, lights on the art, and nothing else. And nothing else. If it's an art gallery, maybe there's a table with a computer to take the payment, right? And so what do all artists and photographers do when they build their own sites? And you guys built your own site? WordPress, Wix, Weebly, Squarespace, Shopify, any of them, doesn't matter to me. Colors and fonts and slideshows and beautiful looking this or that if anybody actually ever saw the actual art, it would be a damn miracle. Okay? You guys are the worst at building your own websites. The website is not supposed to be some magical work of art on a canvas. It is supposed to look as close to an art gallery experience online as possible. And I know this because I look at your guys' websites all the time. You know, every once in a while, I'll grab a bunch of people that have signed up for our email list. I'll go type it into Google. I'll find them. I'll look at their website. And it would be a miracle if any art ever sold from that website. So it's very important that you get those aspects right, okay? In addition to that, if you want to make it and you want to be successful as an artist, as a photographer, you need to be working on 3 things. That's it. That's it. You need to be creating the thing, you need to be marketing the thing, and you need to be selling the thing. Nowhere in those 3 pillars is becoming a web programmer, learning HTML, CSS, talking to GoDaddy, uploading images, building forms, what is a pixel, Google Webmaster Tools. That is a waste of your guys' time. That is not anything that you want to learn. It is not going to fundamentally help you. It is not going to grow the business, and it's not a good ROI use of your time. And there is a reason that we discovered this, because as it turns out, selfishly, okay, take this as cynically as you like, the more successful our customers are as a business at Art Storefronts, the faster we grow and the more money we make. Do you know what we realized? We have to completely take away the website building from you completely. I don't want you touching it ever. I don't ever want you touching it. So when you sign up with us, we build the damn website for you. That's it. That's it. You're starting to market within 2 weeks and you're going, okay? That is how it should be. I am currently internally trying to set it such that when you sign up for Art Storefronts, we will maintain the website for you for life. You have new stuff that you want to put up? Great. Send it to us. We'll put it up. We'll get it set up. We'll help you price it. And that's it. Because it is not a good use of your time, okay? You're not meant to be searching forums and getting on the phone with overseas tech support, okay, and waiting on the phone for 3 hours trying to figure out how to do something. Not a good use of your time, not going to grow your business. Okay, done with the website portion of the rant. As a final, print on demand, okay? Print on demand. Again, I realize going out, looking, all of these people talking about these various different things. Okay, well, you got to get this vendor to do your prints, and you got to find this person to do your merch, and you got to get this person to do T-shirts, whatever. I realize how damn difficult it is. Okay, so if any of you are looking for a final reason why you would sign up with us to the detriment of some of our competitors or someone else, you sign up, you give us your images. We upload the images for you. You flip a switch, and instantaneously, you can offer all of that stuff, all of the merch, all of the prints, without lifting a finger. When the orders come in, you're not going to some different service. You're not building the images of what it looks like. You're not getting someone's credit card. You're not going over there and trying to get a tracking number and then coming back in here and trying to put a tracking number in there. Did they get? No, none of that nonsense. Because none of that nonsense fits into the 3 pillars either. Create the stuff, market the stuff, sell the stuff. That's it. And that's way more of a subtle sales pitch than I ordinarily do. Gwenna says, I just signed up to stay. I started building my website. You need to use Stripe, Gwenna. Everyone uses Stripe. Stripe is like the Visa of credit cards, right? Like everyone does. Everyone uses Stripe. They'll tell you that. Yeah, they'll tell you. You have to do it. But the great thing with us is and Gwen already knows this, but it's a beautiful thing. Okay, it's a beautiful thing. You have a Stripe account, which is a merchant account. It's an online merchant account. Huge company, billion-dollar company. It gets attached directly to your bank account, wherever you want the funds sent. Order comes in, you get paid. Printer gets paid. Order gets printed. Order gets boxed. Your logo goes in the box. Box gets shipped. Tracking numbers get sent. You touch none of that. By which I mean not even 1 second of your time is wasted in any of that. And that is absolutely how it should be. And I know we have competitors, and I know some of you are on other websites, and I'm not trying to do a pushover, but understand three things: creating the stuff, marketing the stuff, selling the stuff, and no room in there, admin, learning to become a web programmer, any of the rest of it. You have to be creating the stuff, marketing the stuff, selling the stuff. That's it. That's just it. We'll get into Q&A. This is an interesting question from, what is a good approach when negotiating a percentage for a dealer who wants to sell your work for you? Any thoughts on dealers? I prefer to sell direct, but maybe a dealer could help. Yeah, I have never met, as someone that advises artists to make money, I've never met a revenue source I don't like. Okay. I've never met a revenue source I don't like, as long as it's legal. But it always has to be in addition to you selling direct and to you understanding who is purchasing your work. So with the dealer, number one, proof is in the pudding. Are they going to sell your work or not? So don't spend 6 months negotiating the contract, Sebastian. Don't spend 6 months going back and forth and negotiating the contract. Say, what do you normally like to do? He'll go, yeah, I normally charge 20%. Tell you what, let's do 20% for 3 months and let's see how you do. Good? Good. Done. Then you're not worrying about it. You're not stressing about it. See whether or not they sell anything. If they sell anything, then you can renegotiate. But I see these people that get so wound up in the negotiation back and forth, and they're working on deals and hammering it out, and it's taking their brain space. And then what ends up happening? Person doesn't sell anything for a year. So worthless. I hate that. Don't waste the time, Sebastian. Just be like, cool, 30%, 40%, great, fantastic. Tell you what, go sell. You got to see whether or not it's a revenue source that will actually work, because in many instances it won't, and then you don't want to be wasting your time on it. So that's what I would say. Let's get into Q&A. So again, camera's on, raise the hand. Happy to do it that way. There's the little reactions thing on the bottom of the Zoom here. You can click this guy. That will give you a way that you can raise your hand and I will see it. If you don't want to turn your camera on, you don't have to turn your camera on, okay? I hate being on video. I would never be on video if it was up to me. It's my job. I got to be contrarian about these things. And you can also throw your questions in a chat if you've got them that way. Be more than happy to answer that way. I also have done like really serious, in-depth deep dives on these three things. Sort of like I just wrote them all recently. I'm pulling them up right now so I can show them to you. But I just wrote them all recently, and all of them are good. And I was just sort of like, loosely, and just bear with me. I'm getting a little screen share. I'm supposed to have this set up, but it's a Friday. I'm a little bit off my A game today. So is that it? Good. So if you go to our blog, and I can send this to you too. 1, how to price your art for maximum profit and sales. I'm going to copy this link address. I'm going to throw it in. I'm going to throw it in the chat. You can read that. It goes way into depth and essentially what I covered at a high level in the pricing. Very good, very, very good article. In terms of the website, so about that website, I'm going to copy this one. It's very good too. I'm going to throw that in the chat just so you guys have it. Sometimes on Friday, I'm supposed to email this stuff to you guys after the fact, but sometimes on Fridays, things, people head for the exits early at art storefronts on a Friday. So sometimes the things won't come in. So I was quoting primarily from those two articles. They're very in-depth. So if you feel like you need to take the pricing to a deeper dive, or you need to take, the website features to a deeper dive, you can do that in both of those. This one's really good too, by the way. Ultimate Guide to Successful Fairs and Shows. Also this one too, How to Run Live Art Shows. All the most recent ones are really, really good. But enough of that. We can get into that in due course. Who's got questions? You can raise a hand. You can see Christina. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. We always need a brave one to kick us off. Go ahead, Christina. You'll need to unmute. I'll let you know when you get it.
Okay.
Gotcha.
My question is this is very fundamental, but which size of originals sells the best?
What is the best mattress in the world?
California King.
Right. So it's different for everybody, right? Because I like an Eastern King, and I like one firm, and you like one soft. There's no magical size. Whether or not you know this or not, the premise to your question, and I get varieties of this all the time. The premise of your question is there's something out there that's working, and if I just know what the working is and apply it to my business, it'll work for me, right? The varieties of this are like, what are the best selling subject matters, or what are the best selling media types, or what's like the number one price. And
Right.
what you learn when you've been in this industry for years and years and years is that it is such a spectacularly mixed bag. It is mind boggling, right? Now, I can tell you
Right.
general rules of thumb, like huge originals are harder to sell because there's not that many people with huge walls, right?
Right.
So, stay in the sweet spots, but don't attempt to benchmark your business off of others. Like, because it's not a comparison shop type of a business, like, I have been so blown away. I mean, I was making this joke earlier in the week. And I feel bad making it. I get to see everyone that's sold, right?
Right.
This guy painted, he's a genius. This guy painted a frog, okay, sitting on top of a toilet seat. And the title of the painting is Dropping Off the Tadpoles. Okay? Absolutely killed it. How do I reverse engineer that, right? Like a little bit of
Right.
humor and a frog on a toilet seat, and this guy's killing it. And this is the guy that's doing it this week. Next week it'll be someone else with something else. I mean, it's such a veritable cornucopia of everything imaginable that
Wow.
you just do you and you get marketing and that's it, you know?
Yeah, got it. So as far as like vertical versus horizontal or
Yeah, don't
square,
yeah, don't worry about any of that. Don't worry about any of that.
okay, I
Um,
will.
yeah,
I'll stop worrying.
yeah. Good. Good.
I'll sleep now.
Yes. And then remind me to stop worrying too, because I'm a worrier. Not really. Not really. Yeah. Thanks, Christina. Do you have any follow-ups? That's it?
Sure.
Okay. Thanks, Christina. All right. Then it'll go Radford. Then it'll go Gwenna. Then it'll go Ronnie. Go ahead, Radford.
Patrick,
How you doing,
love
brother?
your presentation.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
I
I
was
watched.
coloring. I was coloring completely off the line, out of the lines today, Radford. I was firing from the hip, and I appreciate your Halloween-inspired decorations there.
Just don't make fun of my frogs, man.
No, no. How that you have to admit that's pretty damn creative, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all laughed at it when we looked at it. It was like this is fantastic.
I have so many questions. I'll try and keep focused here.
Yeah, good.
I've been a creative director, art director, illustrator, designer for 40 years.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, got an idea to do an icon series that I'm up to 8 images on famous singers and artists,
Mm-hmm.
which is really funny because I just got a text saying my prints are ready to pick up from my printer.
Nice.
I had him do oversized, which is part of what was just asked by the lady that just
Mm-hmm.
asked size wise. I personally wanted to do a size that's kind of a custom size, 43 by 48. And then I was told as I went out and started getting framing estimates myself, because this is my first show, so it's kind of a test inside a gallery coffee house
Mm-hmm.
for 8 weeks. And I'm thinking, hey, November 1st through December 31st, if I'm going to sell anything, this is a good laboratory.
Absolute best time of year. Absolute best time of year. Month of November especially.
So I might do that in harmony with you guys and get a website up in the next 2 weeks before I hang the show. That way that'll drive the traffic. If you give me a QR code that they can just scan,
Yep.
they can go right to the site. See where I'm going with that?
Oh yeah.
And so I too have kind of a question. I'm going to be doing these at 43 by 48, and I was told that 30 by 40 is a standard size in the industry. But
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
on a learning curve. I'm on a learning curve.
none of it really matters, right? Like, when you take my pricing approach, right? Like, you're gonna have prints of the thing, right? So if I come in there and I'm like, Brad, dude, that thing's way too big. I need bathroom size. You're gonna be like, no problem. Here's the bathroom sized one. What media type do you want it on? Done, right? Like,
Right.
so you don't stress about it. You don't stress about it at all.
Okay, that was my next question. That leads perfectly to my next question, which is offering. I was going to offer because my cost is going to be $250 for printing, $250 for framing, the initial 5 that I'm doing at the size I mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
So I came up with, out of my own head and lack of knowledge, 1,000 framed, 1,000 unframed, 1,500 framed. But after listening to you today and watching your other video that I watched prior to this live, I kind of see what you're saying. Maybe there should be a mid-range there because it's better to grab the client that's in front of you than lose them altogether
100%.
and hope that they be able to resell them at a later date. I really like that a lot, especially having a partner right now where we just launched an apparel company of T-shirts. I totally get your merchandising philosophy, and I think you're
I
right.
wish it was mine. It's not mine. It's the business world's merchandising
Yeah,
philosophy. Yeah.
it's great.
Whoever
Yeah,
figured
it's
it
great.
out first knew what they were doing.
Yeah, it's great. So I'm just trying to see, if that's an approximate good idea based on my pricing for that, and also coming into the fold with you, if that's good pricing as well, or where does that stand, or should I offer a $500 non-framed, smaller
Yeah,
size?
I mean, like when you're not, so I'm assuming it's like in a gallery, you're not going to be there the whole time, right? They're going to be rolling in, and if they
Yeah,
mark it up.
it's a gallery coffee shop, but it's in LA.
QR
They
codes
get
on every piece. QR codes on every piece. So you try to get them back to the website. That's critically important. And then I would certainly I would have on a placard other sizes available. Scan the QR code for more info, and then just leave it at that. But I would mark everything up to 250% and see what happens as a minimum starting point. You can play and you can adjust from there, right? But stick to the 250.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Well, that's a good start. That's a great show. Again, I really appreciate. And you guys handle everything soup to nuts if I sign up with you, right?
Soup to nuts, all
And
of it.
what's great is you got into it a little bit, but you're also handling if you're doing Stripe, you're also delving into and capable. Your sites are internationally capable with multiple monetary transactions. Correct?
Yep. All day long.
Okay. Okay. Great. Thanks for your input. I appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks, man. Okay, next up is Gwenna. Go ahead, Gwenna. And Gwenna was asking, oh, I didn't even mention the commissions. Yeah, I find commissions, by the way, to be, and you'll need to unmute, Gwenna. I know you're on the phone, so you'll find it. So the mic icon. I
it's
actually
good.
I find the commissions to be an absolutely critical portion of an art or photography business. And here's why. I don't care if you ever have any intention of actually taking the commissions or not. A commissions button on your website is essentially someone knocking on your front door with a credit card over their head saying, take my money, please, take my money, right? And so what you do with commissions, whether you want to do them or not, is you use it to get ideas to inform what to do next. And they're so powerful. They're so powerful for that. So love commissions, very, very important. And then what commissions are your high ticket offer? What do you do exactly? I mean, I got the horses. Is it all horses?
Primarily I have I do abstract as well. I've done, this is one of my abstracts. But I do other things, but lately I've been doing drawings of horses. So I do equine art and photography
Oh, awesome.
lately. But yeah,
you
that's
said
what I've been sticking with.
you said you're a customer, right?
I am. I just signed up actually
Okay,
as
awesome.
you were starting this
Cool. So
Zoom today.
I'm gonna. Do you know Carol? Carol Walker.
I don't.
Yeah. Okay. So just email me after this is over, and I'm gonna put you two on an email. Love her to death. Okay. One of my absolute faves, and she does like the horse rescue thing, the wild horses. The ones that are. It's like the cause celebre. She already knows this, but there are wild horses on BLM land. The ranchers don't like these wild horses because they mess up their fences and do whatever they do. So they're trying to cull these things. So hot button issue. And she's really gotten good at the horse niche, and she's really gotten good at selling her photography into the horse niche. And one of the I might as well show it because it's a fun show and tell. I've run multiple shows with her, and she did this like mega intelligent thing where we call it newsjacking. I don't want to get into the details of it, but she was on the New York Times and Tucker Carlson and one other, like right when the Biden administration announced that they were going to do this cull of the horses. And she absolutely killed it. Hold on, I'm trying to find the video because I want to show it to you. But I'm going to put you guys on an email, and I want you to pick her brain, and she'll be super awesome to you on that. Very
Great.
very,
Yeah.
very helpful.
I'm not a photographer per se. I mean, I've
Oh
taken
no, it
some
doesn't matter.
photography,
It's the subject matter.
but I love horses, and I know a lot of people, specific types of horses. Sometimes, and I've gone to shows, and people just want to know, how much do you charge for your drawings, and will you draw my horse, that kind of thing. So that's why I asked about commissions.
Yeah. Gotcha. Okay, I've pulled one up. I wanted to show you. I so rarely do this show and tell these days.
I didn't realize how much sugar clouded my
come on with
moods,
the
my
ads.
thinking. It kept me.
I did not turn this on to monetize. It's a noisy.
will do that. They'll take a mid-morning nap, and the whole family will get together. And
She does like gnarly off-roading and like goes and finds the horses and photographs them. But anyway, I wanted to show you that. It'll be helpful for you because it's the same niche, and people are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs on the doggone horses. I mean, that is a diehard niche. Niche.
Connect us for sure, and we can pick each other's brains and figure this out.
For sure. And I love that. Yeah, I love that about it. As a final, we're how can I explain this? We have a very good onboarding process, and we have good documentation and everything else. But there's one time of year where all of that goes out the window, and that's right now. And it's because November is the biggest art selling time of the entire year. Getting your site up, okay, which we're building for you, and getting ready for Black Friday and Cyber Monday, I don't care about anything else. I honestly do not care about anything else. I don't care about you announcing your new website or the giveaway or anything that we're telling you to do there. Ignore all of that, okay? Table it until we get through Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Deal?
Okay.
Because that won't be in the document. And welcome aboard.
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. I'll see you on the inside. Oh, Ronnie's back to negotiate with me. Let's do it, Ronnie.
How you doing there?
Good.
Thanks for sharing. I know nothing about art and business. I know about art, but not art and business.
No one does. That's the problem. Is it's never taught, and it infuriates me.
Right. I've run a small scale business for about 20 years out of my city with my daughter. And we have recently started to try and expand. It's a battle.
Oh, yeah.
But my question to you is, how do I go about getting my work into galleries?
You don't want it into galleries in the short term. You want to just sell it yourself directly. But the reality is with the galleries is you can get in there as a result of persistence, but it's better that they come to you rather than you coming to them. And how does that happen? That happens when you start making a ton of noise and you're selling well and you're doing well in socials. There was, let's just say for the sake of simple argument, there was a supply of artists and a supply of galleries pre-COVID. Then COVID hit. And the supply of galleries essentially got cut in half. Post-COVID, not that many have opened back up. Now you have the same supply of artists with half the supply of galleries. So they don't have to do a damn thing. They can just sit back and decide whoever they want, whenever they want. They can up the commission percentage. It is a great time to be a gallery because you have all the power and you can do whatever the hell you want. So I find it to be a fool's errand to waste too much time banging down those doors unless you find a really cool one that you can have a good relationship with. And instead, do all the marketing on your own, try to do your own shows. And then when you're cooking with gas when they find you. And they're like, hey, I'd really like to get you in my gallery, right? That's kind of how I like to approach it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. My pleasure, Ron. Have a good weekend. All right. Go ahead, Melinda.
Unmute. Okay. Am I unmuted?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Okay, great. First of all, Patrick, you are my favorite part of Art Storefronts.
Oh,
I'm also glad that you guys are doing the websites for people because it's been a year for me and I'm just barely ready to launch now because I'm not good at doing a website.
I know. This is like the one blowback piece of the entire thing where Melinda's like, damn it all. We learned our lesson too late on it.
I had some comments, but I'll keep them to myself. But let's get back to you because you have been my favorite part of this without question. Every time I listen to you, I get out and do something and make success. Now, about 5 years ago, I raised $29,000 to do 40 portraits of gay Mormons and showed in 5 cities.
Wow.
Okay.
Hot button
I just recently got back from Salt Lake City where I was at the Salt Palace showing those same things. And now I'm also trying to launch my website here and not to get all over the map, but I did our police chief, Carmen Best in Seattle, who stepped down during the Summer of Love when we had all those riots. I did her portrait and I was on TV with her.
Nice.
And so another avenue I'm very interested in is celebrating women of color. Okay, so now we've got a bunch of gorillas in the mix, portraits, commissions, this activity, that activity, and hearing myself talk, just the blessing of being able to connect with you. I think what I need to do is run everything through my art storefronts website. And also when I'm raising money for Gay Mormon Project, give them a mug that they can buy, because people aren't as excited about just donating money for no reason.
There's an even better way to go about that though.
Okay.
That I think, and one of the things that I love to do is and this is like going a little tangential for a second, but
Okay.
I love doing fundraisers, okay, where you put some items in the shop, right? And you would use the Live Art Show page for this. And the idea is that it's a charity drive. Everyone knows it's a charity drive, but nobody just wants to donate, right? So you put a couple
Right.
you put a couple items in the shop, and then that you're gonna give away. Original, limited edition, whatever it is. It could be 20 different things, right?
Mhm.
And then you sell raffle tickets, okay, for the things. And why I like this is did you hear my whole rant about pricing that I just went on?
Yes, I did.
100% applies to charity endeavors. And so in the store, you'll have an item in the store, $5 donation, $25 donation, 50, 100, 250, 500, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000. Those are all individual items in the shop, and they correspond to entrance to get the prizes, right? And so everyone gets the opportunity to donate, right? And they're making a donation, they feel good about it, but then they also get to probably win something at the end of it, right? Potentially win something. And I love that. And what ends up happening, and we have this, have you met Aideen? It's this Irish artist. She's been on Office Hours a couple of times.
No.
She taught me this, and I couldn't believe the results she was getting, because when you have like an on fire charity, and especially I imagine yours is an extreme hot button one.
Both of them are, yeah.
You could potentially acquire, okay, thousands of customers in one pop, and you have all their information because they have to put in their first name, last name, credit card information to do the donation. It's genius marketing. It's phenomenal marketing. And you give away a couple $1,000s worth of art. Like, it could be incredible. So
You've just given me the missing link, because at the show, I took people's emails, which they didn't really want to give until I said, and I'm going to do a drawing to see who gets painted next. All of a sudden they light up. But now with what you're saying, doing the live fundraiser, this could really explode in a good
amazing.
way.
Yeah, it's amazing. And
Yeah.
you're just acquiring collectors. It's like it's just a great hack period for like artists to expand, their networks, like, give something away, but then be intelligent about it and make it a marketing expense. And it's phenomenal. So that's how I would do it. And Support can walk you through how to set up all the items. It takes like 2 seconds. Easy. Done.
Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. And thank you for the kind words. And you have some seriously politically charged stuff you're running into there. So it can be very, very helpful in being a lightning rod, like when you live it, do it. And you clearly live it. Like the people that try to exploit it, like, the sheer number of questions when the whole Black Lives Matter thing kicked off, and it's like, I want to do something for Black Lives Matter, and I want to do something for Black Lives Matter, and at a time when there's the riots and everything else, and it's like, guys, unless the charged political stuff is you to a T, that's what you do all the time, stay Swiss neutral, please. Just stay Switzerland. It is not worth, like, unless I come to your house and there are multiple Trump flags flying outside, stay out of the politics. Like, why would you want to offend half of your audience, just to try and ride the coattails of this or that? Like, let's just remain Switzerland. You got a business to run, unless it's your deal. In Melinda's case, she's living it. It's not about a movement. It's not about political expediency or trying to catch the latest, greatest thing. So yeah, it's just an interesting art learning lesson as I've like been through this. Like, don't go pissing off half your audience for no reason. But I also, when you're in Melinda's case, gay Mormons, you think that one's a hot button issue? I wonder. I wonder. Why don't I pour a little gasoline on the fire, And even going back to the horses, like, I watched Carol explode solely because the Biden administration was, and it's not about Biden. It could have been anyone. It was just, that was when it came to a head. I'm not trying to make it political, but the government was trying to kill these horses. They were like going to go out and euthanize all these horses. And it was such an uproar. And because she has been doing this her entire career, she was there. She capitalized on it. And I think she did. I think she did between these 3 shows.
And nap.
She did, God, what did she do? $95,000, $125,000, all via these direct live art shows. Absolutely crushed it. But again, she'd been doing it. She'd been doing the hard work for 20 years. I mean, she's got this Jeep Grand Cherokee that she takes into like dicey, gnarly off-roading to like go and find these horses, right? And it's like multiple times on like the dusty trail, changing flat tires. Maybe you see them, maybe you don't. So, you know, I hate talking about the success stories, talking about like it was easy and it just happened all overnight, right? Like, oh, yeah, no. Try changing tires in 85-degree heat and dust and everything else. She's had some tough ways. All right, I talked myself into circles. I'm running out of horsepower. If anyone's got any finals, yep, I got you, Daryl. Don't worry, I see it. Good. You got to unmute, Daryl. You got to unmute. Press, and I see you too, Janet. Don't worry. I'll let you know when you get it, Daryl. It's there somewhere. Mike. Okay. Yep. Gotcha.
All right. How are you doing today, sir?
Good. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing all right. Very, very interesting. I'm new at the game. I'm old, but I'm new at the game. I'm trying to get my artwork together. I've been in art for all my life. Now I decided at this age that I wanted to start doing something more with it. My question to you, Patrick, would be, so if when I am able to go with you guys, as it relates to prints, so how is it that the print cost is paid or charged to the artist? Because I know the printers still have to make their money. And do they also do 1 or 2 prints at a time, or do they have to have a certain quantity?
That's the honest, like, it is the best thing that has happened to this industry in forever, meaning print on demand, meaning no minimum orders, no inventory, right? No minimum revenue threshold. Like, you can get an order for one thing, they'll print the one thing, they'll ship the one thing, all good. And you're operating the business, right? It's your business.
Right.
So you have a wholesale cost that comes from the printer. We just connect all the software. So the wholesale cost from the printer is what you pay. You set your markups. If you listen to me, you mark them up at least 250%. So when the order comes in, you get paid minus what you owe the printer. And then
good.
All the rest is just handled. You don't have to do anything, which is kind of nice. And same thing on the
Sounds great.
Yeah, same thing.
Yep. I that was just the only stickler I had, so I appreciate that so much.
No, I covered a lot, and I talk really fast too, and I've never been I've never been able to slow down on that, honestly. So I've just come to terms with it.
All right, well, thank you. That's the only question I have for now, and I pray that I'm able to continue to tune in to the webinars or the podcast so I can learn more.
Awesome, that's what it is.
As I make this journey now.
Awesome, do it. And Daryl, like I get people routinely in their 80s and 90s coming on these.
Okay.
So you got lots of time left, brother. Like, don't think like just because you're old, like, you know, you got another 25 years grinding at this thing. That's an awesome thing to contemplate, you know?
Yeah, I received that. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I honestly got to go and get the video clip. Like, I stream these things, and every once in a while the stream breaks and I don't have the recording, but this guy's name was Gordon. Okay, this guy's name was Gordon, and he was 90, and he ended up signing up, and then he shouldn't have signed up because I don't think Gordon. I mean, God love this guy. He was amazing. His personality was so funny. I mean, you would just want to hang out with this guy. I mean, some of the things he was talking about, and he ended up signing up, and I think we refunded him because I don't think he ever turned a computer on in his life, and where he was, there was no chance he was going to make it this way. There's no chance. But he's on there, and he's 90, and he's telling his story. Another guy raises his hand, and he goes, "Tell that kid, Gordon, to get going. I'm 95 and still going strong." And I was like, this is just amazing. I was like, this is just amazing, you know? Like, no one, you can't, as a creative, you know, and I believe in God, so I'm going to say the way God made you, you don't turn this thing off. There's no off switch. It's the way you are. It's the way you were created. You're going to be doing this for the rest of your life. The only question is whether or not you want to try to grow a business out of it, right? So that's what I would say. Go ahead, Janet.
Is there a way of getting more business questions answered, such as how much it costs, monthly, all that kind of stuff?
Yes.
I tried to get on when the last couple times I got some emails and just sat there and it just went whirly as far as processing. Don't know if it's just because it's busy or because you guys are getting so many people or.
Yeah, I mean, the technology. I mean, it's just, what a great job to have being in technology because it breaks more often than not. I'll write your name down and I'll have somebody contact you.
Okay, sounds good.
And they do like a Zoom session, kind of like this one, where they give you a tour of the whole thing. All the bells, all the whistles, all the.
Yeah, I've got a friend that just signed up and it sounds interesting, but she was financially able to do it and was just wondering if there's ways of making payments rather than.
Yeah, they've got some options like that for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, my pleasure. All right. I feel like we covered a lot of ground. Christina wasn't kidding, you guys. Christina's like, okay, I'm done. All right, well, I'm going to lay my head down. And I think she's laid her head down now and gone to sleep. I'm not going to take that personally. I feel like she came, got what she needed, and now she's off for a nap. Sounds kind of nice. Sounds kind of nice, actually. All right, well, thank you guys. Thanks for hanging in on a Friday. I really appreciate that, and I hope you found it entertaining. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. I will send you a replay in a little bit that'll have all the thises, the that's, and the others. For those that are contemplating signing up, it is a good time because we will get your site up, running, live, ready to go before Black Friday and Cyber Monday. All you have to do is just start working on the marketing. Laura, I saw your thing in the chat. I just sent you the YouTube video. Her name is Carol Walker. And yep, Kat, I saw yours too. So I got you guys. I used to have somebody that would like help me do this and, help me with all like the admin stuff. But the way that we're running now, I'm just running it on my own and I've got to write notes and do things with pens and paper and the whole thing. Guys, have a fantastic weekend. Appreciate all of you. Send you the replay in a bit. Send you some follow-up resources. All you have to do is go to the blog and you can do a deep dive on any of the pricing stuff. There's just a ton of information in there how to do it. But I'm telling you, you work that pricing scenario that I set up, everything in your business will start to change. I'm reticent to call anything a silver bullet, but it is a silver bullet of sorts. It solves for so many problems. And when you start acquiring customers at the low end of the scale, when you get that price anchoring at the high end of the scale, when you have the range, you acquire more customers. When you spread that out over years, customers turn into collectors. Collectors will buy 7 to 10 pieces of work from you from the course of a lifetime. It's how a business is built. It just is. So thank you guys. Appreciate you all. Great rest of your day and weekend. And I'm going to go take a nap like Christina.